Hey folks, one of the glorious things about homeschooling is that we get to prepare our children not just for this life, but Lord willing for the next life as well. That's why if you listen to many of my Take Fives, you'll hear it more about the scriptures and about life lessons than you will about specific academics. So you can get academics online and find those things anywhere. But what we're really after is preparing our kids how to get along well in this life as well as to prepare for eternity. And that's why I've talked about the scriptures, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life from 1 John 2:15 and 16, because we all struggle with this. And just last week, we transitioned to the pride of life. And like I said, I could spend a whole year talking about this subject. And I said last week I was going to tell on myself to help illustrate what we're talking about with the first point. If you recall, I quoted C.S. Lewis, and he said that pride is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. And I see how people think it's a false humility. Oh, I'm just a terrible person. That's not the issue. The issue is, what kind of emphasis do you have? And in our marriage for the first 3 or 4 years, we had this conversation 4 or 5 times. And my wife would share something that she was struggling with or that was a concern to her. And she would tell me, well, in order to be empathetic, so I thought, I would share, well, yeah, I understand that because here's what's going on in my life. And after about the second or third time doing that, she said, this is not about you. This is about me this time. I'm sharing where I'm struggling at. I don't want to hear about your struggles this time. And I said, well, I was just trying to be empathetic. She said, yeah, but you make it about you. It's not about you. And I was a little offended with that, but I thought, well, whatever she wants to think, Well, that went on for, like I said, probably 2, 3, 4 years. And then one day, out of the blue, I don't even know where I was at or what I was doing. It's like the Holy Spirit went, ding. And I realized what she was saying, how I would turn around something that she was sharing, something she was struggling with, and I would make it about what I was struggling with. Rather than saying, oh man, what can I do? How can I help? How long has this been going on? I didn't question her to go deeper about her. I just shared how I can identify with that. I put the emphasis back on me. And then when the light went off, I told my wife, I said, I get it now. She says, get what? I said, it's not about me. She said, what are you talking about? And so I told her all that had transpired that day. And she said, well, good, finally. And so I started to realize, man, if I'm blind to that area, how many other areas am I blind to as well? So today I want to encourage us as homeschoolers to listen to our language. Does one spouse talk more than the other spouse? Well, if I didn't talk, he wouldn't. Well, maybe you need to be quiet and let him talk. See if God will, maybe he wants to, but you haven't allowed him to talk, or vice versa. Do we make it about us all the time? When we again have a conversation with somebody, are we busy telling them our woes, or do we ask, well, how are you doing? And sincerely mean that in the process. I think we might be surprised how our language will betray us. And we might act very humble with our language and with our posture and such, but if our main subject matter is us, instead of being God or others, we might find that as being the manifestation of pride in our life. We'll keep building on this week by week by week, but I hope this will encourage you by the power of the Holy Spirit to take inventory of your own life on this matter. This is Kirk Smith with ICHE's Take 5.